Let's talk about one of the most unsettling legends in American folklore. It's the story of a small, abandoned settlement in Connecticut, a place so supposedly cursed, it's literally been wiped off the map. And today, it is illegal to even visit. This is the story of Dudleytown.
And we have to start with this. A direct, chilling warning from our source. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a plea. Because the story we're about to unpack is the reason people fled this place, and why some believe a very real evil still lingers there today.
You know, you'd think a story like this would start with something terrifying, but it doesn't. It begins with a dream. Meet Dr. William Clark, an accomplished oncologist, and his wife Harriet. It's 1906, and they are desperate for an escape from their hectic city life.
I mean, living in New York City was great for their careers, but it was chaos. They craved the exact opposite, a quiet, peaceful retreat where they could just unplug and recharge. They set their sights on Litchfield County, this beautiful rural part of Connecticut that seemed absolutely perfect. So as they're driving along these winding country roads, they see it, this huge, shaded forest way up on a mountainside. Now get this, its name was Dark Entry. Despite that little red flag, they were just captivated. It looked so beautiful and inviting, they felt like they just had to go explore it.
And what they found inside? Wow, it was pure magic. The air was cool, the light was soft, and the whole forest just seemed to come alive around them. They passed a deer munching on apples from wild trees. They saw these gorgeous flowers everywhere, and the ground itself seemed to sparkle from all the mica in the rock. And the whole time they heard owls hooting. It felt like the forest was welcoming them. It was truly enchanted.
They were so completely in love with this place, they didn't just buy a little plot of land. Nope. They bought 1,000 acres of Dark Entry Forest. This was it. This was going to be their sanctuary, their little slice of heaven on earth. But as soon as they tried to actually build their dream home, they got the very first sign that something was deeply, deeply wrong with their little piece of heaven.
Dr. Clark starts calling up local builders, right? But he gets the same answer from every single one. No. It didn't matter how much money he offered, nobody, and I mean nobody, was willing to set foot in Dark Entry Forest to build a house. And the weirdest part? None of them would give him a straight answer why.
Now you have to understand, Dr. Clark was a man of science, not superstition. So he just rationalized it. He figured, the forest is too remote. It's just one little house. It's not worth their time. Being a skilled handyman himself, he just decided, fine, I'll build it myself. And in doing so, he unknowingly ignored a huge, unspoken warning from the locals.
And here's the thing. If the Clarks had just done a little bit of digging into the area's history, they would have known the real reason the builders refused. They would have known about the stone ruins scattered throughout their forest and the cursed town that once stood right there.
You see, those charming stone ruins they'd admired weren't just random debris. They were what was left of Dudleytown, a once thriving little community that had been totally wiped out. Not by a fire or a flood, but by what the locals were convinced was a relentless, evil curse.
And just look at this slide, the pattern of tragedy is just relentless. It starts with the Carter family, devastated by disease and a massacre. Then, a man named Tanner goes completely insane, obsessively talking about strange creatures he saw in the woods. A war hero loses his mind. A mysterious epidemic sweeps through. And it all culminates with the last family, the Brophies, who lose everything before the father just walks into the forest and is never seen again. By 1900, Dudleytown was a ghost town for a reason.
For years, the Clarks enjoyed their cabin, totally oblivious to its dark past. Their summers were perfect, their holidays were peaceful. The curse seemed to leave them alone. That is, until the summer of 1918.
Dr. Clark got an urgent call, a medical emergency back in New York. Harriet was terrified to be left all alone way out there, but he promised he'd be back as fast as he could. He was gone for just 36 hours. It's not a lot of time, but in a place like that, it was more than enough for the nightmare to begin.
When his train pulled into the station, he fully expected to see Harriet there, waiting for him. But she wasn't. And even for a man of science, Dr. Clark felt this sudden, powerful wave of dread wash over him. He just knew something was wrong. He just started running, sprinting towards the cabin. As soon as he entered the woods, he was hit by that sound of owls hooting, but the sound that once felt so welcoming now felt menacing, almost like a warning to turn back.
He finally burst into the clearing and saw it. The front door of their cabin was just wide open. And as he got closer, he heard it. A strange, high-pitched noise coming from upstairs.
He charged inside, took the stairs 2 at a time, and followed the sound into their bedroom. And what he found, this quote just illustrates the pure horror. He saw his wife, Harriet, curled in a ball on the floor. Her eyes were wide, unblinking. Her mouth was open impossibly wide, and out of it was coming this insane, high-pitched, maniacal laughter.
Something broke in Harriet during those 36 hours. She had completely lost her mind. After that moment, the only things she would ever talk about were the strange creatures she saw out in the forest. The exact same creatures the residents of Dudleytown had reported seeing centuries before.
Harriet reportedly spent the rest of her life in a mental institution. Dr. Clark never ever went back to his piece of heaven. But the story of Dudleytown, it didn't end there. Because it seems whatever evil is in that forest, it's still lingering.
Even today, people who illegally sneak into the area come back with terrifying stories. They talk about pockets of intense, unnatural cold, the feeling of being slapped or pushed by hands they can't see, and they capture these strange, shadowy figures in their photos. Even the famous paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren went there and declared the whole area demonically possessed.
So, and this is the crucial point, the forest is now private property. Trespassing is absolutely forbidden. The owners and the local police take it very seriously, which really just reinforces that warning we started with. It is not a safe place for people.
And that's what we're left with, isn't it? This one haunting question. Was it a simple psychological break brought on by extreme isolation and fear? Or did Harriet Clark come face to face with the same lingering evil that drove an entire town to madness and ruin? What really happened in those 36 hours alone in the woods? That's the mystery that remains buried in Dudleytown.
If you like this video, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.